Welcome, Black.
Welcome, Black. You are listening to the Seeds of Revolution, Daughters of the Whirlwind podcast,
where we discuss legacy, history, resistance, and forward movement.
The revolution is live.
Growing up Sunni-Ali. Woo!
Yes.
This feels like it just, we were talking for our listeners. Hey, everybody. Hey. For the listeners, I'm Dr. Asantewa Sunni-Ali.
And I am Princess Mdaiyah Yisrael.
And I am Aiyisha T, Obafemi.
Yeah.
And we are...
Daughters of the Whirlwind.
We listen to folks. I know folks are still like, say your names for those who listen. And I know there are people who exclusively listen. So we always want to do that before jumping right in. But we were talking a bit offline just about how different this feels because, we normally, of course, talk about ourselves, but we have guests that are kind of like the main discussion. We have discussion, around that before, obviously with the guests and after. And today is all about you. It's all about us. So yes, we're talking about what it was like to grow up a Sunni-Ali. How y'all feeling about it?
I feel great about it. I mean, this 4 seasons, we have covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
In these 4 seasons, and we still have, so many more stories to tell and things to introduce, our audience to. So yeah, I think it's great that they get to learn more about growing up Sunni-Ali.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did too. I actually, as we said when we were talking backstage and things, the anxiety of sharing that. I know we share a lot, but it's like now it's kind of like, okay, we're opening up a lot more and emotionally, I think, because it's the anniversary of his birthday coming, and then just so many things around the summer is so emotional for us. And then I think also because mommy and daddy are not here, so it's like we're going to be telling stories and just having so many memories that we've shared with them all of our lives, and now we're even making memories, without them. So it's kind of like it's a weird space to be in, if that's, the best way to describe it. Just a weird space to be in.
Yeah.
But happy to be here, nonetheless. Happy to share.
Yeah, definitely happy to be here.
I was driving the other day in Sparta, and I don't know why, but I'm driving and I see the subway, and I just started thinking about how I would be driving through Sparta with Daddy, and he'd be like, "Let's stop at Subway." And he want a sub. He wouldn't want a sub, but he want a salad. But he'd go in there and get everything on the salad outside the meat. And I just thought about him, and of course a bag of chips.
Oh, definitely that bag of chips.
Either Lay's plain or Sun Chips. So I just started really reflecting, like, wow, just a year ago, I was riding up and down these streets with my Baba, and wherever we were going, it was just,
Yeah, and we think about almost a year, like next week, a few days will be a year that we were in Belize.
Yes.
I mean,
Rotan.
Yeah. We were in Rotan. I was in Belize before that, and then left Belize and met y'all.
Right. Yeah, and we were all in Rotan, Honduras. What a beautiful!
It was the best time.
Yeah, it really was. Oh, if it was breaking up a little bit.
There's so many things to praise of and share. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We lost you just for a hot second. So hopefully that doesn't continue to happen.
I know.
Yeah. Excuse my looking down. I had to find.
Storming out here.
Oh, it's storming out there. Okay. All right. So we'll just keep that in mind. We finish each other's sentences anyway. So if that happens,
I'm sure.
But hopefully it won't happen. But I was saying, excuse my looking down, because I had to find this spoken word piece that I wrote about. Oh my goodness, like almost 15 years ago now.
Wow.
Maybe not quite 15, but close to it, over 10 years ago. But yes, as Princess Mdaiyah said, yesterday was our father's first ancestral birthday. So the first birthday on the ancestral side or in that realm. And so we're honoring him, happy birthday, happy heavenly ancestral birthday, Daddy.
Yay.
We miss you. We miss you. Yes, miss you every day. Yes.
To call everybody on their birthday and sing for Kuzaliwa. It's his favorite thing to do. So definitely do that to him and hear him do it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I see we have another Sunni-Ali. So this is a very special episode because we have special guests, many of which have the last name Sunni-Ali. So I think, at this time, we can go ahead and start adding folks,
bring them out.
It's hard to yell when we're not going to finish that line. All right. We have Warren Jackson to the stage. We also have, he's going to turn it on. We also have Fatihah Sunni-Ali to the stage. Woo, 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 woo. I'm about to change this person's name. I'm going to change this person's name real quick because it say something else.
Oh, Lord.
Figure that out. Ayana to the stage.
Say my name.
Oh, actually, what I saw was Robert. I saw Roberto.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we had to sign in on my son's name, but Robert Johnson is always up in here because that's daddy.
Yes. Yep, Robert Johnson.
How y'all doing? How's everybody? I love y'all. Nakapenda.
Good. Nakapenda.
Nakapenda to you. For our listeners, Robert Johnson is our grandfather, is our father's father. And it was he who was from Roatan, Honduras, an island off the coast of Honduras, and who was also, a Garifuna man. And so several of us in this generation have named, our children after him. So we got two. We got a Roberto and we got a Robert.
Yes.
Up in here.
And we got Uncle Bob.
And we have a Bob, a Lloyd.
Lloyd Robert Johnson. Lord have mercy.
So Sunni-Ali. That's our name. And I guess the most recent time that I had to explain what it meant and where it came from was for my son's naming ceremony, because that's one of the things that we have done, in our generation. We've passed it down to our children as well. And I know that, when I shared my piece, Princess Mdaiyah came in with something. Baba AK came in just about the history, of the name. But Daddy was very fond of King Sunni-Ali Bear or Burr. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. But most importantly, he was the king of Songhai, which was an ancient African civilization in West Africa. He was a Muslim man. And yeah, you can look up, more information about, Songhai, the empire of Songhai, and why that was so important. Or in the spirit of Daddy, Google it.
Google it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how the name, came to us. Daddy chose it, himself, and we all, have inherited it. Some, in terms of having it be our government, and others, having it be your kind of spiritual name or your cultural name or family name and lineage, even if it's not your government last name. So thank you, and shout out to Baba Bilal for having that foresight to, drop his what they called at that time, and we still call, slave name, and embrace and choose for himself, a name that he felt was fitting, for himself as a king and for his lineage, his legacy that he would be leaving behind. And so yeah, Sunni-Ali, that's how we got here.
Sunni-Ali.
So, growing up Sunni-Ali, who would like to start this thing off and talk about?
I think the oldest should start.
I'll start. Why did I think that you were going to say that?
Because you know already. You should start. You was the first Sunni-Ali, so.
And I want to point out though, because Fatihah said I'll start, and then
So I was going to say the first birth Sunni-Ali definitely started off.
Growing up Sunni-Ali was it was great. It was the only thing I know. People mispronouncing my first name, people mispronouncing my last name, and I got to set them straight. And I really didn't realize Daddy was a big deal until I saw him perform and people were fangirling over him. Because he's just Daddy. He was just Daddy.
Right.
Yeah, that factual healing.
Yeah. Yeah. So people was fangirling. And I'm like, okay, look, can I sit next to my father, please?
No, you can't.
Right.
Exactly. But it was good knowing all that he taught us and correcting the history teachers and daring them to call call them. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll be fine with that. Exactly. I dare. I double dog dare you. Because I know I'm right. But yeah, that's how it was for me growing up. Sunni-Ali.
She dropped it.
All right.
Y'all ready for me?
Aiyisha, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Next.
I was just gonna say that growing up Sunni-Ali meant exhibiting patience and compassion, and that came from Baba Bilal Sunni-Ali. And I will share a story. When he married our mother, I was 9 years old. And for the first year that we lived in that house in Alexandria, it was about a year, I would only greet him to say good morning and to say good night. And there was no real conversation. And one day he said good morning and I said good morning. And then mommy said, you have to talk. You have to talk to him. And he said, Fulani, leave her alone. It's okay. In her time, she will. He said, she's not disrespectful. She has a father. And so she's just, doing what she needs to do. And that's how it was. And I think that was really the start of us building our relationship, us both being cancers. He understood me without me even saying anything. So that's the patience and the compassion. And he was like, no, leave her alone. She's fine. It's okay. We're good. And yeah, so that's the first lesson I learned growing up Sunni-Ali. And there were many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still learning them still.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
They keep coming.
And you know what that made me think about, Aiyisha, was not only was that the start to like y'all's relationship and like insight into who he was as a man, it also to me is the start of what so many people admire our family for, and that's how we've been able to blend, you know, so well. And so for him to not put pressure on you, for him to acknowledge like, oh, she has a father, you know, I'm here, I'm a father figure, you know, and, you know, I'm married to your mother, but you have a father and I respect that.
And a father who was able to come to the house and we all just hang out and have.
I mean, they had the respect they had for each other was
that was so beautiful.
Right. All of it. You
phenomenal.
Know, that's just, yeah.
So it was that mindset, right, that laid the foundation for us to be able to say we don't half and we don't step.
Exactly.
Because they had that mindset from the beginning. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I mean, if we going in order, I mean, y'all know where y'all go, where y'all fit.
Who next?
Hello. So yes, growing up Sunni-Ali. I mean, like my sisters and my brothers here, they know we have thousands, probably millions of stories, small, big, long, short stories, right? But one of the beautiful parts of growing up Sunni-Ali was have our parents always having our back. You know, like I ain't gonna say it didn't matter what we did, but anything we did, they did it for a reason, and we weren't just out there acting a fool or trying to embarrass our family. So especially like Fatihah said, if they called from the school and the parents came up there, it wasn't that typical, oh my God, I'm shaking in my boots because my parents. I'm actually standing firm, like, yeah, my parents is on.
They were coming to whoop their butt.
You know, I can recall this is about a mommy story, really. I had a teacher tell me to shut up in class. And all the students was like, oh, you gonna get it. You don't tell Sunni-Ali to shut up. I started laughing like, I ain't worried about that, man. And he said, get out my class. I said, gladly. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. They was like, man, you got to get it. Because Sunni-Ali, when they come up here, it's gonna be a problem. So mommy came up here. And he said, oh, let's step in the hall and have the conversation. She said, no. You had the audacity to talk to my daughter in front of the class. We're going to talk in front of the class.
Yes.
We told you, Mr. Harris. We told you.
Yeah.
Sunni-Ali don't play.
That's how it goes.
Every time after that, like you go into class, they be like, don't. They be like, don't say nothing to Sunni-Ali. So, you know, it's always just those stories. Some of those memories. There's so much more, of course. You know, we have very serious memories, you know, when it comes to the discipline and the way we had to grow up and certain things like that. But I like to really think about all the fun stuff a lot of times because we had some serious things at different times. So, you know, and that to me, and it still stands to this day. Like my classmates see me, they be like, Sunni-Ali, what's up? You know, and I be like, I'm good, you know. And they always like, I know your family, da, da, da. So I'm just grateful that we had parents who believed in us so much that, you know, we could stand on the truth, stand on business when we're in school or wherever we are, and know that they would come and support us and not feel like we're being disobedient or, you know, representing them incorrectly. So that's it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Those school stories is everything, boy.
I know. I could throw one in there, but I got another. I'm gonna do another one. Am I next? Is Kofi here?
No.
Oh, well, I'll tell a quick one for Kofi. Well, anyway, when Kofi was 10, he said, Daddy, asked him, why are you looking so upset? And he said, well, what are we going to do when they come and bomb us? And Daddy said, well, my son has a lot on his mind.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kobe can speak on that another one. But what I appreciate being Sunni-Ali because it gave me my best outlet for the things that we had to go through growing up, which was music. And Daddy always, he would call me to do like his little, not little, excuse me, I didn't mean that. He would call me to do his flyers for tours in Black August, which we're coming into. And he would say always, you need to put an end or put somewhere on the flyer that music is the healing force of the universe. And so I remember back in 1987, everybody was outside playing and I was inside learning to play the flute the whole summer. And then I went and I played and I played and I played and I, you know, it was very healing, and it still is. And so that's the one thing I appreciate getting from Mommy and Daddy, because I got Mommy's voice. It took me some time, because also Daddy told me I have to sing the note, a whole note. You know, you can't just cut it off. So he was my music teacher. He was the music teacher at our school. And Mommy was the reading teacher, but he taught the music at McDonald 15. Shout out to McDonald 15 in New Orleans. But yeah, it was that was very special, and it is always and will be very special. And so that's the one thing that I carry very strongly from Daddy. Happy birthday, Daddy. And then I try to pass on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Wow. I'm younger than you. You're not the baby.
Wow. I'm the baby.
No, but I would probably say, growing up Sunni-Ali, I was an undercover Sunni-Ali. My last name is Jackson, but you know,
undercover. You was all out there.
I was undercover. You know, people see my government, they don't know I have no affiliation. So I'm sitting back listening to see if anybody bring the name up. But more than anything is, you know, like Aiyisha said earlier, there's no half-stepping, and I'm grateful for being embraced by Iya and Fulani. You know, I didn't have the pleasure of knowing my biological father growing up. So growing up, I just knew Bilal as that male figure. You know, my mother had other relationships after Bilal, but I didn't acknowledge them the same way I did as Bilal and Fulani. So, you know, when they would come down in the summer and I go with Fatihah to Grandma Lois's house, it was more of a, you know, a family structure, more of a Afrocentric part of my life that I didn't know. So, you know, I had that interest to know that side, and they embraced me with no problem. It was no, you know, that's Fatihah's brother. No, it was, son, come over here. Or Iya, Warren, what you doing? Yeah, so, you know, I really, really am grateful for being, you know, embraced by all, and knowing that my siblings have always had my back, no matter what. So I mean, it's just I'm grateful. It's a blessing to grow up Sunni-Ali. Like I said, I'm undercover, so I'm always quiet. I'm in the background. My head is always on the swivel, but best believe I'm militant in my own ways.
Okay, Warren, you're the Sunni-Ali who sat by the door.
Yeah.
I love that.
You no longer undercover. You no longer the undercover.
Yeah,
I know. That y'all pulled me out and put me out there. Now everybody gonna know I can't, you know, move silently now.
You're gonna walk into work on Monday and they're gonna be like,
Sunni-Ali!
I heard it in the ethers. It's probably not a surprise that I got a spoken word to start off what I got to say about what it was like growing up Sunni-Ali.
Speak that way.
And really, in mine, actually, it moves a bit beyond Sunni-Ali and also talks about, the larger community, like growing up New African. And I actually wrote this, as I was saying earlier, over 10 years ago. And it was a way for me to kind of creatively express what I was trying to express academically. It was during my time when I was getting my PhD, and I was doing research on, growing up New African, and really for the first time thinking about our childhood, from a critical academic standpoint. I think we were even trained to look at ourselves, through a critical lens. So that wasn't new, but to like think about all the theory and the academic language that I was being exposed to and trying to understand it, within that space, and even write about it and conduct research about it. So yeah, and maybe I won't read the entire thing, but it says, I grew up in New Africa. My childhood was a magical bubble of imagination, bursting at its seams from interlocking energies of Kujichagulia, tethered ties to African cultural traditions, and performances of a liberated existence. Although dominant culture called it Atlanta, Georgia, my community marked this geopolitical space and claimed it as land that rightly belonged to them, as reparations for centuries of their ancestors' free and forced labor on that and surrounding lands. And I know you all can agree, as grown-up Sunni-Ali, that the New African Creed was our pledge of allegiance, our prayer, our song, our Scouts honor, our pinky swear. We called ourselves righteous soldiers, New African Scouts, and children of the struggle, while our passports called us American citizens. While kids at school called us African booty scratchers. At home, our mamas and babas called us African kings and queens. Our religion was revolution, and our messiah was Malcolm X, Queen Mother Moore, Imario Bedeli, Baba Elijah, Mama Dara. It was an experiment. Sure it was. They didn't know how we'd turn out, how we'd fare amongst the rest of society, defining ourselves as righteous soldiers instead of little black girl or boy, calling ourselves New African instead of Black American, Afro-American, American at all. So yeah. Well, Ayana spoke to something earlier, because I know we've talked about what it meant to grow up in the movement, but our parents were also artists, revolutionary artists, and not just, struggling artists or trying artists who were a little talented. They were accomplished professional artists, who had, prior to having the big family, were, traveling internationally, with their artistry. I know Aiyisha, can speak to some of that, because she was there. She was on the road, with Mom.
And Fatihah and Chaka.
Mm-hmm. And so I think it's also, I like that you brought out, Ayana, the fact that, we grew up having, you didn't really quite say it like this, but it put me in the mind of the fact that we grew up having music kind of like as our soundtrack to help us get through, and help us to, and when I say get through, help us to understand, because I don't,
what we were getting through.
Help us to understand what we were getting through, what we were going through, and even what to expect, in the future.
Yes.
I never felt ill-equipped. Like I never felt confused or even upset or resentful. Like I always had this deep level of understanding. I think it was spiritual. I think it was also emotional, but it was certainly intellectual, because we also were taken to, the New African Nation Day, the African Liberation Days, the media. there was no Zoom at that time, but folks would go to the house. Yeah, and we were there, and so
I was gonna say the after meeting.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I want to say that me being happy to be on the Zoom, it's cool and stuff, but I used to stay under the table when we went to those conferences. I used to be under the table, and like I was excited about the music part. When somebody started singing, Malcolm lives and the people struggle, Ahmed, I come out for that, but I was under the table.
Yeah.
Right, they got leaflets on the table and stuff. That was part of growing up Sunni-Ali too. We had to be there, and whether we wanted to or not, and participate or hide under the table.
So why were you hiding under the table?
Because I didn't like political stuff. I don't like getting into arguments with people. Like they call me the Democrat of the family. I'm gonna try to find a way to make some peace right quick and sing a song.
Would it be Democrat or diplomat?
I mean, I think I said Democrat, right? No, it would be diplomat.
I was like,
I ain't choosing no party.
We ain't no Democrat or Republican over here.
I ain't gonna make it to the party.
Letting us know.
Yeah, so it was probably overstimulated.
Yeah, well, we know those words now and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I would hide under the table and listen to the music and go to commercial.
No, I love that. We know those words now. That's true. We didn't know the words, but that's what I love about it. Like now we do know.
But to what Ayana did say too about going under the table, I guess I don't. Yeah, I didn't go under the table. Not that I like the politics, but they did call me. They call me Mouth Almighty and different things because I was always sitting there paying attention, listening to everything, and just seeing who was who. Because that's one thing Mommy would tell us was like, when we in these settings, we can, but pay attention to everything in your surroundings. And even to this day, I'm like that. Like, going somewhere, I'm very attentive. Even if I'm not talking, like people be like, hey, they have a whole meeting, and I'm just sitting there observing every person. Because before I speak, I want to make sure that I've gotten everybody's position in that room. And so that's something that, like Ayana said, we all took different things from going into these meetings and, being in the midst of all of that. And when I say all of that, y'all, audience, all of that is a whole lot. That,
and Mommy would say no investigation, no right to speak.
Exactly. So that's, all of the things that we're talking about, the nuances of growing up Sunni-Ali all have different, just different points that help us to carry help to make us who we are and carry forward, because it's a lot that, we've witnessed, we've been involved in. And like she said, we were made to attend these meetings. It wasn't let's go find a babysitter for our children. One, our parents can't afford that.
What's that?
Wasn't going to try to afford it. And three, we were going to be at those meetings because we are the future of the movement, of the people. So they wanted us to be directly involved. And I'm actually grateful. I'm very grateful because at a certain point, I went on to become the youth minister of the PGRNA. I would sit at the PCCs with the old heads. And of course, expectations of what I could do was overwhelming because it's like I'm sitting there with our grandfather's best friends and all these great minds of old revolutionaries who, they have their way about how they want to see things. And I was trying to bring them a different wave. So, y'all been trying that for 30 years. So I remember hearing this when I was 10. I'm 30. Like, what we gonna do different? Type thing. So I'm glad they exposed us to it. One. And it's allowed each one of us, because we all sit in different positions in our lives where we have a sort of leadership. And it's allowed each one of us to be able to hold that leadership and carry ourselves with integrity, humbleness, you know, and like Warren said, you be in the cut, people don't even know you there. And a lot of times people don't. They be like, oh, I didn't even know so-and-so Sunni-Ali here because I didn't want you to know. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't.
We righteous soldiers and we don't wear no uniform.
Right. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. So I'm a part of this. Asante was a part of this too. We're in this alumni chat for the New African Scouts. And before I got into the chat, they did a text chat first, and it was like different numbers that was in there that wasn't right. One of the brothers in there said, I better get this chat together before the Sunni-Ali's bounce, because they don't play that. Everybody in this chat need to be on point. We having nobody in the chat that don't know who we are. And I didn't think about it, but I was like, good thing for them to understand that we stand on business when it comes to security, when it comes to knowing who is all in the room. Because, like we all say, there's things that can be said that don't need to be said in front of strangers. So, on that.
There is a lot to say, and I know we did talk about the music, and for those people who may not know, because we didn't really get into specifics, because we would be remiss if we didn't mention that our mother, sang with Miriam Makeba and Nina Simone, and Baba Bilal is an original member of Gil Scott-Heron's Midnight Band, and he's also played with the greats like Stevie Wonder, Pharoah Sanders, Sun Ra, so many. And music. I say that I come from musical revolutionaries. That's who we come from, because it was never one without the other. Saturday mornings, waking up to the music to do our chores and clean the house, and not moderate, very loud. Like it was just, time.
Saturday was general cleaning day, and we had to get up we heard all the music, all loud on
and that made it so much easier. It was so
with a record player.
Yes.
With the music, it really was. I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah. It was our wake-up call.
Yeah.
It was like a party.
Yeah, just like
it was fun.
Ayana said, I was also taught how to play the flute, and I played the flute in middle school. 7th and 8th grade. I played the flute.
The thing about Daddy as a teacher, he was not a calm teacher. He wasn't patient. He's patient, but it was like play the note. It wasn't like a sweet let's play the note. I sat there and watched him teach Kofi's daughters and Ziki and Evet. No, not Ziki. Kofi's daughters and my children one time. He had recorders with all their names on it, and Ziki and Evet too.
I remember that.
You, it was so crazy. I'm watching them. He's sitting there doing his musical count 1, 2, 3, and they if you're not gonna play, don't play.
He had. If you weren't catching on and getting to it, he was like, all right, you ain't ready. You're not focused. And I'm like, give me a chance, Daddy. Give me a chance.
Okay.
Right. Are you begging? You like, please, I just want to prove to you that I can do it. He's like, nope, you missed 2 notes.
Y'all remember when we were recording the album 7x7? And I was like, I was like, let me warm up, and he was like, get out. So Washamash ended up singing my part.
Oh wow, I wasn't there.
Kicked me out the studio. All of us were there. Taywa.
No,
Aiyisha was there. We all sang 7x7. We sang
it's Aiyisha on that album. Yeah,
I heard. Yeah, I know Aiyisha's on.
It was.
Where were you?
In the studio.
Oh,
I think I was living in New York.
Oh wow. I know I got kicked out because he was not playing with me trying to warm up. Like we taking this serious. You should have warmed up at the house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all do know Daddy is known to be one take shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't do no warm up.
Yeah.
No editing, none of that.
He wasn't no. Yeah, like,
We get it right the first time.
Like, this man, like, right? So warm up at home. You should have been gargling warm water.
I know, right?
The night before.
I was like, me. He was like, get out. I was like, but Daddy, I'm warming up. He was like, get out.
To the studio.
Get out. Wash your mouth and you're on.
He said, "Come to the studio."
Yo,
you embarrassing me. I don't have amateurs.
Okay.
Okay.
you can just
And I wasn't thinking if he was paying for studio time either. Like maybe he was paying for it.
yeah. Wow, that's hilarious. But yeah, Daddy embarrassed me one time. Actually, my first trip to Belize when I went down. It was in the mid 2000s, and
I know that wasn't the first time though.
They had that was my first time. That was my first time out of the womb. Okay, thank you.
All right.
So for our listeners, y'all see how much me, Princess Mdaiyah, and Aiyisha laugh. You see how much Ayana Sunni-Ali brings the laughter. Okay, I'm like, I can't even get nothing out. I can't even say nothing. But yeah, in Belize, I got that same treatment. I was told to go, why don't you sit down and shut up?
That's what I got.
Again, that's a line from The Last Dragon. He didn't say that to me. He might as well had. That's how I felt like he said that to me.
Did you say, why don't you come down here and make me?
I dare not say that.
Right.
But it was Mommy's birthday, and there was a live band playing. It was Mommy's birthday, and they were playing Bob Marley. And Daddy was like, "You wanna come sing?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah." So I get up there, I say the first line, and I forget. And I know most of all Bob Marley songs, but
that was every Saturday song.
I was nervous because the band is playing so nicely, and I know Daddy, and I'm like, I better get this right. And I messed up, and he was like, "Sit down." Like he didn't even give me a chance to like correct it. I'm like, I'm finding the lines. I think I even get my phone. I'm like, I'll Google it. I'm gonna pull it up. He was like, no, because I guess in his mind, he's like, this ain't karaoke. Right? No, if it's not flowing.
I was thinking, let me karaoke this thing.
Yeah. So, I know we've been talking about the music and the, just those experiences with Daddy. I want to talk a little bit about kind of like finding our own voices, because I know that out of everything that we've said, including those last stories about just the pressure, that was put on us to be serious. Like I remember Kwanzaa times when we were supposed to be discussing the principles. And if we didn't have it right, Daddy would be upset. Like Daddy would be like, no, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And so that definitely made me feel a sense of, I don't know if pressure is the right word. It's probably responsibility. To
collective work and responsibility.
There you go.
Yes.
See,
I think that was because we were taught from the womb these things. So it's like, you better get up here. It was really preparing us for everything that we were going to do later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it wasn't so much of trying to embarrass you, but just letting you know that everybody's watching.
Prepare you.
Right.
Everybody was always watching us.
You always gotta be
because we knew all the things.
Yeah.
Right.
Even more than any of the other children, we knew all the things.
Right.
So we don't embarrass ourselves.
Yeah. Represent us well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start calling names.
You don't have to get
that
ready.
part.
You don't have to get ready. Just be ready. Stay ready.
That
was his thing.
Yeah. All right, so maybe in chronological order, starting from the youngest. I mean, I spoke a little bit to it, and maybe I can come back. But maybe starting from Ayana this time and going up, like, what was it for you to kind of find your own voice and your own pathway like given all of this responsibility, right? A heavy, like I think I can speak for all of us, like it's a heavy responsibility and not burdensome, but it's just big. It's big.
Right.
The energy of what it is to be a Sunni-Ali and to be the children of, Iya Fulani, Baba Bilal,
Fulani and Bilani.
Right.
Fulani and Bilani. So what was the journey for you? Or I know it continues, right? The journey continues of just finding your own. But for me as the youngest, like I felt that sense of responsibility from our parents and from all of y'all. Cause I'm like, I got all of these, elder people not having expectations of me, but setting examples for me. And I'm like, ooh. And everybody is pretty strong and pretty confident and firm. And so for me, it was like, okay, how do I, fit within all of this? But yeah, go ahead. You say you're ready. So go ahead.
Well, you pretty much said what I was going to say. So next, no, I'm just playing. But I mean, I do agree with that about about the expectations and the. I did feel a lot of pressure to be a certain way growing up, but then I also had older siblings that gave me examples of how to be, and I also had I felt pressure to make sure that I was what's the word, fulfilling what they were teaching me also.
Well, speaking for me, I can say that they installed in me the sense of family structure and knowing that, raising and being there for your household, especially as a man, as far as pops, I never really try to come up with excuses or lean on anyone when it comes to providing for my family. And that's one thing I've always taken from him. And being real, speaking your mind, don't hold back your words to how you feel about something. Because if you gotta release it, telling the person how you feel is releasing that energy too, instead of holding it in and being angry. Because I know, Pop spoke about how he felt about something. He's gonna get something off his mind. He's gonna say it right then and there and hold no punches, right, wrong, or differ. So I try to do the same thing, especially with my sons, and have them, be open and say what's going on. Let me know what's going on. I can't. Like Grandma Lois said, you can hunt, you can hear. Like, but you gotta let yourself be open to your family, and that's my main thing is family structure. I'm trying to get really, really better at that. And that's one of the things that I've taken on.
All right.
Nice.
Yes,
I love that. I love that you said that. I love that you said that because a lot of men need to understand, the importance of having a positive male role model in their lives, because it does you become a father and a husband, and what you strive to be for, those that you have to take care of and that you love. So, I'm glad that that's what you got out of it. Got out of having, our Baba as your Baba. So I'm grateful for that. And I see it in you, I see it, and I'm always proud of you and just your accomplishments and how you always step up. Even when you're not asked to, you step up and be like, yo, I got it. Let me do it. No questions asked, no applause needed. You come through. And that's a great sentiment to who you are as a man. So great job.
Take a bow, Mrs. Powers.
Thanks, sister.
Man, it's so much to have. I guess for me, and I'll try to keep it simple. I think for me, like my life right now is basically a synopsis of everything that, I've learned of living on the land, running a school, being a wife, a mother, even doing some of the things that like our Auntie Laverne would do, which is get my nieces and nephews and Even though they drive me crazy, I still get them, and I get them weeks at a time. And I'll be like, "Woo!" After day one, I'll be like, "Why did I try to do this again?" But then I roll with it, and we have fun. We find things to do. And even when I fuss at them, they still come. We love you, Auntie Fu. I'll be like, "I love you too." So, I think all of that. Because even when in the midst of me doing it, I'm always reminiscing of why I'm doing it. And I'm always thinking about how did they do it? How did they make it look easy? Because it's not easy. And then even realizing, even asking that question, the same way I probably make it look easy for, my children and my nieces and nephews, and those who may look from the outside, be like, oh, everything's smooth over there. However, I think watching them, and that's the biggest key, that we were allowed to actually watch them up close and personal and hands-on, has also helped me to kind of just push through the bumps and, the bruises, and figure out what we're going to do next and how we're going to do this. And so, I give, of course, the Most High all credit to everything that I am today. And then the parents that he gave me, and I'm not even just talking about Fulani and Bilal, but Ahmed and Mama Kenya and Mama Sonovia, to have them to build that whole foundation for us, and and to see how that was, I think about that all the time, that foundation that they built, that they showed us, I'm sure, because we were children, but I'm sure they had their little whatever, but what they gave to us was love and peace and working together and unity, collective work and responsibility, as Ayana said, and, cooperative economics, all those things, all the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, which Asantewa brought out, was, and even Aiyisha brought out, we learned from the womb. So the expectations to live that daily, we can't do nothing but realize that they expect it, because that's what they gave us. That's what they fed us. Along with our food, they fed us the principles of Kwanzaa. They fed us the, New African Creed. They fed us all these things because they knew that along with what you ingest as food, you also needed to ingest this knowledge, this power, so that when you become older, you already have the principles, you have the integrity to live in this world that we living in. Because a lot of people don't have those principles, don't have a foundation, so they don't have integrity, they don't have humbleness, they don't know what favor is, all these different things. So I look at like my life now, and as Asantewa said, yeah, it is pressure. I felt the pressure. I think most of my life I felt pressure, and I think I did not appreciate the pressure until after I went through some strenuous things in my life and realized I didn't break because of the principles, the discipline, everything that our parents put into us. An average person would have probably lost their mind, went into the crazy house, all type of things, right? But we're able to persevere. We're able to stand in it. Don't break down. Don't let the enemy or whoever it is that's coming against us see us weak, and come out on top at the end of it all, regardless of it all. So, I'm grateful for it. Like I said, I didn't appreciate it until later in life, but now, I'm so grateful for it. And I see it's crazy because I just had my nieces and my nephew here, and they're young. They're 3, 7, and 9. Watching, like having them here reminds me of how we were growing up. Getting fussed at, having fun, getting fussed at, having fun, getting fussed at some more, having fun, and then still saying I love you at the end of it all. You get what I'm saying? Like,
and Daddy saying, "Don't run, don't jump, don't play, but have fun."
Yeah, like all of that, right? All of that, literally. It just made me smile at them. And then it was even a somber moment, y'all, and not to bring it down, but it was a somber moment where my nephew, because I guess I can say names, but I won't. Anyway, my nephew, he was like, I said something about, I held up an album, right? This album. And I said, who can find Pop? Who can find Pop? So I opened it, and let them find daddy. And then my baby niece, who's 3, she said, but he's on the other side. And then my nephew said, what? He's gone? And I was like, and I had to kind of like take a moment. And then he looked at me, he said, Pop's gone? Like Grandpa? I said, yeah. He said, but, and and I was like, but it's okay. And then he got real quiet, and then he was like, I need to go. And he went, sat down by the door, and then my little baby niece, the youngest one, walked over to him. It's gonna be okay. Rubbing his back, and I had to compose myself. And then he came back to me. He's like, Auntie, he said, Grandpa and Papa gone. I have nobody. And then I had to explain to him how you got everybody. You have all these people that love you, and you still have Grandpa. But what I loved about it was their connection with each other. How she went and him and
comforted him.
And then he comforted him, and he came back and he was fine after that. And I think sometimes children just they don't remember things, or different things going on. But I'm just grateful that
Roberto don't remember but he was there. But that's
and then
that's so sweet.
But I just want to say I'm grateful I have that opportunity, even with some of Ayana's children, having them at different times, and even Fatihah's children. And I used to, like, we all had each other's children. Well, let me we've all had each other's children at different times.
Yeah, we have.
And I love being the favorite aunt of all of them. I'm just saying.
Warren, send your children. Send your children, Warren.
Lies.
Lies. Well, I want to say, because we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about one important thing growing up Sunni-Ali taught us. Family meetings.
Yes.
Oh, the family meeting.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Everybody can put something on the agenda.
Importance of the family meetings. I know they used to be aggravating. We used to be mad. We didn't want to.
We should have made this like a family meeting too. Like everybody put something on the agenda.
Gonna say to the person who hurt you, or who said whatever they said, and but we could say whatever we wanted to say in this space,
in the meeting setting.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it was a family meeting.
Yeah.
So it was a safe space.
I would get frustrated.
Say whatever you needed to say.
Yeah. Like, I would get mad because they would be on the same time as X-Men. I'm like, come on.
We could watch X-Men anyway, Fatihah. You wasn't going to be able to watch that.
Yeah, I'm like,
there was only one TV in the hallway.
She was rebellious, though.
I know, but Elijah was watching Star Trek.
Yeah, I love the family meetings.
Because you was never in trouble.
For the reasons that's true. That's true. But for the reasons that Aiyisha said, though, and I think I'm glad that you said that I was never in trouble, because not participating actually was a really good teacher for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good teachable moment every time. And when I say not participating, meaning like no one is like taking me to task about anything, that I did, or I might have been lumped in, with the children. Like, you all need to, make sure y'all are cleaning
wash the dishes or something. Yeah.
Right. Or whatever was on the agenda. But what it taught me, though, because I often say that I'm the diplomatic person. Because
they just call me that. I ain't really no diplomat. Call me when you want me to.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, okay. But,
that's what mommy said. You call me when you want to set it off.
Okay, so we can all sing together. But we cannot all talk. So just to finish my thought, what I was saying, and I've said this before, like, to all of y'all, that I feel like as the youngest, I've watched so many different personalities and perspectives, and to watch how all of y'all like made room for each other in one way or another. Sometimes it might have been a little bit of room, sometimes it was a lot of room. But just to watch that be navigated by, adults, our parents, And then, sometimes, I'm the youngest. Aisha's 16 years older than me. So a lot, she was a young adult. Chaka was a young adult, and y'all were children, teenagers, when we were having these meetings where we were expected, like, to really come to the table with ideas and, defend why you were behaving in a particular way. Or whatever.
And pick up that one piece of tissue off the floor.
Right. Whatever incident or event that we needed to unpack as a family, it was just always a good thing. And I felt like, I needed popcorn. You know that meme? Like if that existed at that time, I would just been like,
right. That's what you were like that.
I was really just taking it all in, and I wasn't held to the same standard because I was younger. And I'm saying, to the same standard in terms of like, they just didn't expect me to have that same level of responsibility that y'all had. But I loved what I learned from that, which is that people can have differences, people can disagree, and people don't have to, you don't have to insult anyone. Like I find myself saying that now, like in disagreements, I'm like, you ain't got to get mad.
I say you ain't mad, is you?
Yeah, it's the ideas, and the problem is the problem. We're not the problem. The people aren't the problem. The problem is the problem. And during those family meetings, we would tear into whatever the problems were, and then talk about how the people, us as family, are going to solve the problem. What are you going to do?
We become part of the problem by not finding a solution. Like. So, and we all, in this part of the oath, find solutions to our problems.
There you go.
Exactly. Or don't bring it up.
Right.
Don't bring it up. Yes.
Exactly. If we're not going to find a solution, we don't need to converse about it.
I want to say, like, being able to be myself, even though I was rebellious or mischievous, but, like, that I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, my first daughter, and I called Daddy. I was just crying. I'm gonna tell my father I'm pregnant. I'm not married. I'm gonna tell. And so he picked up, and I just hung up because I was too emotional to say anything. So he called me back and he said, "You could call me and cry anytime." And I just was like, "Okay, aww." Like no matter what, because I knew no matter what I did, he was still going to love me. And that just made me feel so great. Like,
so wait. That's real.
He was a dad.
Yeah, he was very sensitive and very
yes.
Yeah,
him and mommy, it was such a good compliment. They complimented each other very well.
They did. They did.
Because I guess the like stereotypical ways that people frame parents, like, the dad is the bad guy, mom is the sweet, person that you might be able to walk over. Like in a lot of ways, Daddy was the sweetie pie.
I was gonna say
mommy was the disciplinary, and Daddy was like he'll just talk to you for 2 hours.
Yeah, and mommy will mommy wasn't having it at all.
Yeah, we gonna get this. Pull your pants down and get it over with.
You will pull out the paddle.
The energy saver.
But I just said, damn it.
Yeah, right. But I just said that you're so silly. So there's so many stories, y'all. There's so many stories. There's so many topics that we didn't even get to.
Somebody just got that, huh?
Moving. Ayana and Abuba is talking while I'm talking. And
everybody else is talking too.
Moving. Ayana said, "Don't call my name. I'm about to write your name on the board. I'm writing your name on the board."
Okay. I'll take that.
And Princess Mdaiyah's. But go ahead, Efuate, and then we're gonna close out.
Efuate?
No, when Ayana said I just said damn it. I actually thought about that story how when it was like, hey, I never got in trouble. Asantewa never got in trouble, right?
She was 4.
I remember my parents left us at home. We were old enough to be home and take care of Asantewa and everything. And so we in there, and we don't know that they came back, but we in there just a cussing and whatever we doing. And Taylor started cursing too. And they came
Oh my
in.
God.
He was looking like, what? What I just
Hey, I was running through the hallway cussing like a sailor.
But I just said,
more trouble, of course. Of course, we got in more trouble because we're the older siblings. Like, first of all, the parents left. That don't mean go crazy, go wild. But
be clear, everybody. I wasn't living at home at the time. I was already gone.
Yeah. Aiyisha was not there. Or Fatihah or Warren.
No, but when I tell y'all that my youngest daughter, the 3-year-old that Apua talked about earlier,
that's her.
Yeah, I don't want to put her out there like this, but I'm gonna do it. She does the same thing. She be saying some things, and I be like, "Girl,
yeah.
Well, why are you saying it? Why'd you say it?" That's her favorite thing. Why are you? If I say don't do that, but why are you doing it? Why? Yeah. And I'll be like, "Hey, why am I doing it?"
I don't know.
I do want to say one thing about growing up Sunni-Ali is we always had somebody living with us, and I definitely want to give a shout out to our Uncle King, because I think he lived with us the longest.
Who you said?
Theo.
Uncle Hakeem.
Loco.
Oh, yo, that was a permanent resident. Shout out to Uncle Hakeem.
Theo knows.
I can tell.
And
the terms that Ayana has, permanent resident.
He was. And he used to just say, I appreciate his family.
But with that said, this is definitely going to be one of the longer episodes. But we will go ahead and move into our closing. Okay. So we actually have a segment that we're going to be introducing like full on for season 5. Because womp womp, this is the end of season 4. We have this episode today, and then we have part 2 to this episode where we're going to talk to the next generation of Sunni-Alis. But this particular segment is called Seeds Speak, and so we'll be sharing comments and or letters that people might write into us, asking us questions or comments that we may just respond to. So we did actually reach out to a few of our family members and community peers on the topic of growing up Sunni-Ali and their impressions of growing up Sunni-Ali. And so I do want to share a few of those, and then we'll move into our Power 5 with our special guest, Fatihah and Ayana Sunni-Ali. For Princess Mdaiyah and Aiyisha, if you all can choose maybe one of the impressions, and I'll choose one, so we'll share 3, or if we feel like we want to share more. But I think 3 is pretty sufficient. And I'm gonna come in hot. I'm gonna share one. I didn't put the names of who said this. I know who said everything because I the quotes down. But one of our dear sisters said that her impression of growing up Sunni-Ali was, or what came to mind for her was righteous soldiers. She said the realists, the ones not to fuck with. True family. So what's another one that you all that stands out to y'all?
My the one that of course stood out for me is kind of I loved it because it just summed us up. And it said, I would say the phrase "we all are family," what comes on for me. Meaning the Sunni-Alis didn't believe step or half. The mamas and babas embraced every child that was birthed from the different branches like they were their own. And every child embraced the mamas and babas. It was magical to finally figure out the family dynamic. Like, wow, and y'all really like and love each other. Growing up with the Sunni-Alis, I met a new sister, brother, cousin every week. Laughing out loud. The Sunni-Alis really embody the spirit of nationhood and nation building.
Growing up Sunni-Ali means to lead with love, demonstrating the value of family and community over everything, and being prepared for the fight. Oh, and how could I forget their loyalty? I thought that was very powerful because being prepared for the fight. And, you know, what that meant and what that meant for our family and the community. And then, of course, the loyalty of our parents and those who were loyal to us and who checked on us and made sure we were good. But yeah, I thought that was very powerful.
Yeah, there were so many that that came in. So thank you to everybody that contributed. And I'll just say a couple of words from the other ones because I just feel like they're also powerful. Family values, blessed with love, righteousness, companionship, never alone unless you want to be. You know, what else? Always
the soundtrack to the revolution.
Yes. Revolutionary muses. And then somebody said, if there's a problem, let's have a family meeting. So thank you all. And I also feel like that for me felt like research, like which pretty much started. I mean, everybody knows that Seeds of Revolution is a research and multimedia series or platform. And so just gathering those responses and those impressions like makes me want to gather like even more and to really think about what this legacy is that we all are living. Like we're living the legacy. You know, I wouldn't even say we're carrying it on. We're living the legacy and creating, you know, more of the legacy for the next generation. It just it piqued my, you know, curiosity in terms of, you know, kind of like the research aspect of it and collecting these responses and making meaning of them. So I'm really excited about them and I want to say so much more, but in the interest of time, we're going to move on to our Power Five. So for our guests, we do the Power Five to close out our episodes. You watch the podcast, so you are familiar with what it is. But we have 5 phrases or words that we'll say, and you'll need to respond to them with the first thing that comes to your mind. So there are 5, and there's 5 of us. And I also want to point out, like, we are daughters of the whirlwind, like right now, like all of us, all 5 of us. It sure is nice to see you two together again. So what I'll do is, I guess I will. What direction we want to go in? We want to start with Aiyisha this time. Start with the oldest, the eldest, not oldest, eldest.
Either way, don't matter. Okay, we'll do it a little bit different this time, and I will say each word or phrase, and then my siblings, my sisters, will jump in. Okay, first word or name, Sunni-Ali.
That's me.
The Most High.
Powerful.
Blessed.
Okay. I would say anointed. The next, Bilal.
Oh man, the greatest to ever do it.
Whoever you call your God.
I would say the peaceful giant.
Y'all said that at the same time.
Okay, Princess, say yours again. I said peaceful giant.
I said my daddy.
Okay, next, Fulani.
Oh man, my heart, a piece of my heart, my middle name, my mama.
Beautiful and scary.
Very accurate.
My strength. Yeah, very accurate. But my strength.
I would say she was strong all the time because she felt she needed to be. Like she just had to exhibit this strength all the time. And that was mommy.
Did we hear Fatihah's?
She said my queen.
Okay. All right, next, family.
That's all we got.
I was gonna say one big crazy ass.
Yeah. I would say this. I would say functional and dysfunctional, but definitely love and misunderstood. Because can't nobody understand all the functions of family we got.
That's true. I would say family is given and chosen.
I see.
So the last one of the Power Five is prayer for the next generation of Sunni-Ali.
I feel like similar to us, you know, because I'm middle age. I'm the youngest, and I'm middle age. That sounds crazy. And yeah, and quite a few of us are yelders, young elders. And so in the same way that I feel like we're living the legacy, I feel like that next generation, you know, which they're already 30? There's a 30-year-old, there's folks in their 30s in the next generation.
Yeah.
So I feel like for them to just continue, you know, for them in the same ways that we have, like, to come into the legacy, to come into the powerful energy, to start to meet and really engage with the spiritual aspect of it. Because I also believe that Sunni-Ali is a spiritual energy as well as, you know, this cultural, political, human thing. But it's also a spirit family that we belong to, that gives us this fire, or that gave, you know, our parents and their parents the fire that keeps, you know, that the flames that we keep ablaze. And I just hope that they, you know, truly see it. I know that their experiences are different than ours, but I hope that they can truly see that, feel that, get in tune with it, align themselves with it, so that they can live even more robustly and confidently, you know, than we have.
Yes.
Well, she said a bunch of words, so I can't really follow that. I was gonna be a doctor, but I ain't had no patience. But yeah, I feel I was gonna say, you said you said say a word, so I would say exactly that with less words. But I would expect and wish for our next generations to have patience and spirituality and clarity on being able to overcome the things that we weren't able to overcome, that we didn't know that we needed to overcome.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Amen.
Well, this has been a great episode. Huh?
You back?
Oh, my bad.
I guess I would say the prayer for the next generation, our next generation. My sisters have said it. But I truly pray for them to stand on who they are, stay true to who they are, and understanding that even though they carry the name Sunni-Ali, that they still have their own individual personality, their own goals, their own missions in life. Like the Creator gave each one of us a divine mission, and He already knows our path. And of course, He's allowed them to come through this path of being a Sunni-Ali to help, in my opinion, because I look at my life as when I came into this path, it helped catapult the person I am today. So I would tell them to use the Sunni-Ali name to help catapult them to who they will become and who their children and their children's children and so on, all the generations from us will become. And and just be grateful, for every moment that they have in this life, and utilize it and learn from it.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she's back. I was just gonna say that my wish for the next generation of Sunni-Ali is that they continue to lead with love and grace, and that they have peace of mind, peaceful places to live, peaceful relationships with their family and their loved ones, and just peace.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Asheo.
Ashe.
Can we end with a prayer? If I can share the prayer that Daddy always said to us when we made Salat, or y'all don't want to do that?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Them was jokes.
Them was jokes. They were jokey jokes. Okay. Let me collect myself. May Allah hear and accept our prayers, accept our fasting and our sacrifices. May Allah reward us for our righteous efforts and forgive us for our wrongdoings and our errors. May Allah grant us victory over our enemies in this world and the next, and grant us success in this life and the next. And inshallah, raise us up amongst the righteous. And then we will follow that with the Surat al-Fatihah, but we don't have to put that if you don't want to do that. But that was the prayer he would say before we ended the Isha prayer every night.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah.
This was very powerful.
Yes.
Very powerful episode.
I love you.
Our listeners got to see another side of us with our siblings. Some of them. This is only some people.
Yeah.
It doesn't even half.
A lot of us.
Not at all.
It's not even half.
We had 2 representatives of the larger collective.
And I appreciate that y'all called me a special guest, because I was in the Special Olympics in 1985. And
all right. On that note,
everyone gave me a kiss.
And thank you for tuning in.
Good night. Time to go.
Back up under y'all.
I love you all.
Love you.
All right. Peace.
Look for me in the whirlwind.
Hey, revolutionaries. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Seeds of Revolution, Daughters of the Whirlwind podcast. To join the family, like, subscribe, and share with who you think should be a part of the fam. Comment if y'all want us to cover specific topics or if you have questions. Peace.